If you knew you could drastically improve your life by doing something as simple as putting your phone down more often, would you do it? Going analog. Choosing presence over distraction. When I realized just how much my time was going to doom scrolling, it made me realize that it was time to put the phone down and focus on being in the moment without a phone. When you start to spend less time on your phone, you really realize how much time you gain back. Other things that previously felt like large time investments now feel easier. Something I love to do is explore forest trails and parks. For me, this has always felt like intentional time to be away from my screen and let nature speak to me. Some of the best rest I've had in my life has come from time spent in the forest with no phone service. Having so much fun exploring. One thing about me, I love beautiful parks. I love to dress up, adorn myself, and create cute outfits. It is my favorite way to timeline jump. There was a point in time where I felt fatigued with fashion and constantly seeing all these micro trends. I still love Pinterest as much as the next girl, but I no longer rely on social media for outfit inspiration or lean on it to help me decide what is cool versus what isn't. This has been a huge shift for me and has brought back a lot of the joy that fashion and getting dressed brings me. It's also helped me a lot with finding my own personal style and figuring out what type of things I really love to wear.
You are so sweet, and I cannot wait to see your pink flowers. Thank you for being here in my living room.
I love food so much. While I find many of my recipes online, I make a point to write the ones I really love down on paper. That way I don't need to open up any sort of app to reference them. However, the best ones usually come from friends. I love making these healthier cookies. The base is just ripe bananas and oats, and you can add whatever you like. I generally sneak some seeds in there for some extra nutrition. It's a perfect snack or dessert. Sometimes we even eat them for breakfast. These are really good.
Yeah, these are so good.
Kid approved. Have a bite. Bite for you. Not having to continuously check my phone when I am following recipes allows me to slow down in the kitchen and really notice the aromas, the sounds of the sizzling, and the taste of what I'm cooking. I also found as I've learned to rely less on recipes, I've started to trust my own discernment in what flavors I'm adding and which foods I'm using.
So good.
Cooking has become another way in which to express my creativity and my love.
My bowls usually look really beautiful. When it's time to eat them, I just mix them all up so I can get all of the flavor profiles in one bite, especially with this one. The coconut lime sauce is really what makes the meal so good. For a while, I was in the habit that I think so many of us are in, where we pull out our phones and start scrolling or watching something while we eat. Lately, I'm really making it a point to eat my meals with no screen. I feel like there's a lot of sensations and textures and flavor profiles that you miss when you're eating distracted, but it also allows me to eat really mindfully and really intuitively and listen better to see what foods are working well to nourish my body, as well as how much I need to eat. I've also started this practice of gratitude before eating, where I just take a moment and thank everything that helped create this food, the farmers, the seeds, the soil, the pollinators, the supermarket workers, etc. I think it puts some positive energy into the food, but it also helps me keep a grateful mindset, especially since we're so far removed from the source of our food. It helps me think back to where in the earth this food came from and remembering that connection to the earth. And now this food is becoming part of my body as it digests, and it really solidifies my connection to the earth. Yeah, the earth is a relative of ours, and it is not so far removed as it may feel in modern society. You cannot get through one of my vlogs without some sort of little rambling on, so there you go.
Replacing doom scrolling with reading is one of my favorite hacks. If you find yourself scrolling because you want to learn something, pick up a nonfiction book to read instead. Find a topic that you're really into and just chill out, read it for 15 minutes or a couple hours. If you usually find yourself scrolling as more of a brain break or for escapism, then pick up a fiction book instead. I love reading fantasy, and reading is something that I do almost every night before bed. It can be easy to forget, but motherhood really is sacred work. These children need us, and they need us present. By showing up unplugged and off the phone, our connection deepens. They're receiving your undivided attention, and this makes them feel seen and important, boosting their self-confidence. As mothers, we are an example, and by embracing life fully, raising up a generation that will be present with the earth and other beings. I saw that someone created a spot to hang up their cell phone when they are at home. I have yet to create a little station like this, but I'm thinking it could be a fun air dry clay project. I do make an effort to have my phone away from me when I am at home with my kid. Kyla's in front of a flower bush. Kyla's in front of a flower bush. Oh, don't eat them, please. They're not edible.
There's this collective energy right now of people wanting to go analog and spend less time on our screens. I think this is the best trend ever, and I hope it's more than just a trend but becomes a lifestyle change. For me, it became very clear that I needed to stop spending so much time on my phone. When I looked at my screen time, and at one point I was averaging over 6 hours a day. The majority of that was spent scrolling Instagram and TikTok. I do think there is some nuance to this because a lot of very beautiful things have come into my life through Instagram, through Threads. I've been able to connect with other people and actually build friendships from these platforms. I've had really insightful conversations. I've learned new things. And more recently, I have found really great community events to attend, all from social media. That being said, there is no reason that I need to be spending hours upon hours on social media to find these things and reap these type of benefits. I keep telling myself I need to create more than I consume, and I'm really drilling that into my head to the point where I'm constantly thinking about it. So when I do go on Pinterest or Instagram and see a really cool craft or a recipe, I can save it and simply move on and log off. I don't have to get caught in the trap that I used to, where I would scroll for hours and hours and hours to find all of the craft ideas or all of the recipes and then not really make any of them. There are a couple of affirmations that I have found really helpful to repeat to myself when I start to get sort of FOMO, which is where I fear that I will miss out on all these incredible friendships and opportunities and events if I am not on social media all the time. One of them is that what is meant for me will never miss me, that there are good things coming my way all the time. Reminding myself that I am living in an abundant world, in an abundant universe. Of course, I'm human, so I'm not completely off social media, but I am trying to take 24 hours every week where I just don't log into any social media at all. And on the other days, once I do log in, I try to just give myself 10 to 15 minutes, even if that means I need to set a timer, and at that point it is time to put the phone down and put it away. Something else I found useful in the iPhone is I've turned on a setting where from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. all of my apps are blacked out. Now if I need to use them, I can easily bypass this. It's nothing that's super strict. So for example, if I'm out and I need to access my maps during that time period, I can. However, having that visual reminder that I'm not supposed to be doing this has been helpful because I found a lot of the doom scrolling was happening
happening late at night or early in the day. And if I started my day that way, then what would happen is the whole day I would continue to go back to my phone. Another big takeaway that I think is really helpful is just the idea that we don't have to be angry at ourselves or feel ashamed for doom scrolling. Most of these apps and social media is literally designed to keep you scrolling. They spend tons of money researching how to keep you using them. It's not like entirely your fault. You're not some huge failure if you've spent time doom scrolling. It is designed to make us want to do that. However, armed with that information and that knowledge, you now have the ability to give yourself some loving limits. I also feel I've had so much more time to do things since I haven't been doom scrolling, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate. Once you are off your phone more, you realize that all those things you thought you didn't have time for, you did. Even the simple thing, cooking meals, going for walks, working out, but also all those fun craft projects, those hangouts with friends, the books that have been sitting on the shelf, etc. You have time, babe. Being off my phone has really been healing both my attention span and my mental health. I don't think we're designed to see so much bad news in a short period of time. And while it is important to stay informed and know what is going on in the world, it doesn't have to be at a detriment to your mental health and your ability to get out of bed, live life, etc. It can easily become that way when you're constantly seeing bad news. I also find that the less time I'm spending mindlessly scrolling and consuming short form content, the better my attention span is. Even little habits like when I'm waiting in line or waiting for an appointment, not taking out my phone. Ideally, I have a book or something with me, but even if I don't have something with me to do, allowing myself to just sit and be bored and get lost in my thoughts is so healthy and has become somewhat of a lost art. We're bringing back the analog, baby. Hang up your phone and go do something.